Ronald Gene Simmons, born on July 15, 1940, in Chicago, Illinois. Simmons' father died of a stroke in 1943. Within a year, his mother remarried to a man, William D. Griffin, a civil engineer for the United States Army Corps of Engineers. In 1946, the Corps moved the family to Little Rock, Arkansas. On September 15, 1957, Simmons dropped out of school and enlisted to the U.S. Navy. He was stationed to Naval Bremerton in Washington. He met Bersabe Rebecca Becky Ulibarri and married in July 9, 1960. Over 18 years, they had 7 kids. In 1963, he left the U.S. Navy. 2 years later, joining the U.S. Air Force. Simmons' 20-year career was awarded Bronze Star Medal, Republic of Vietnam Gallantry Cross for serving as an airman, and the Air Force Ribbon for excellent marksmanship. He decided to retire on November 30, 1979, with rank of Master Sergeant. In New Mexico on April 3, 1981, Department of Human Services start to investigate Simmons' family for allegations of him fathered a child with his 17-year-old daughter, Sheila. He was sexually abusing her, and the child was her father. Feared of the authorities, he moved in 1981 to Ward, Arkansas in Lonoke County. Then they moved to Dover, Arkansas in Pope County in 1983. The family resided on a 13 acres tract of land 6.5 miles north of Dover. Another name of the land is Mockingbird Hill. He worked a string of jobs in Russellville of low paying. At Woodline Motor Freight, he quit of numerous reports of inappropriate sexual advances. On the morning of December 22, 1987, Simmons decided to kill his family. He first killed his wife Becky and eldest son 29-year-old Gene Jr. by shooting both in the head with a .22 caliber pistol. Then he used strangulation to kill his 3-year-old granddaughter Barbara. He put the bodies in a cesspit which he at a time made the kids dig. He waited for the rest of kids to get out of school and come home. The youngest kids arrived home. He told the kids he had gifts for them, but he wanted to give one at a time alone. First, he murdered his 17-year-old daughter Loretta by strangling her and held her underwater in the rain barrel. The other 3 kids, Eddie, age 14, Marianne, age 11, and Rebecca, age 8, died of strangulation. He invited the rest of the children to come visit him for Christmas. On midday December 26, 1987, the remaining members of the family came to visit for Christmas. His first murder was his 22-year-old son Billy and his 21-year-old wife Renata, both shot in the head. He strangled and drowned their 20-month-old son Trey. He put his grandson in a trunk of a car. He shot and killed his eldest daughter 24-year-old Sheila and her husband 33-year-old Dennis McNulty in the head. He strangled his child by Sheila, 7 years old Sylvia Gale, and his grandson 21-month Michael died of strangulation. He put his grandson in another abandoned car trunk. He laid the bodies in the dining room. He covered the corpses with coats except Sheila. He covered her with a tablecloth. He left the abandoned cars at the end of the lane. Later he used his son's car to go to Sears to pick up some gifts. Then he went to a local bar. He returned home with corpses lined up in dining room, turned on the television, and drunk some beers. The following day he continued to drink beers and watch television. On December 28, 1987, Simmons drove to Walmart Inc. to purchase a second gun. He drove to Russellville. He walked into a law office. He shot and killed a receptionist, a young woman named Kathy Kendricks, because he was infatuated with her, and she turned him down. He drove to Taylor Oil office. He shot dead a man named Supervisor J. D. Chaffin and wounded the owner Rusty Taylor at the mini convenience store. He previously worked there. He drove to Woodline Motor Freight Company, wounding 2 people and taken hostage of a woman. They went to the mini convenience store and made the woman call the police. He told the woman, "It's over. I got everyone who wanted to hurt me." The police arrived. Simmons dropped the gun and was apprehended. On February 10, 1989, was charged with 14 murders, sentenced to death. He refused to appeal. On May 12, 1989, was tried for Kendrick's murder in Russellville. He was convicted by a jury of capital murder and sentenced 147 years in prison. While awaiting on death row, he was separated from other death row prisoners who threatened him daily and felt he was messing up the chance of being communed from death row. May 31, 1990, Arkansas Governor Bill Clinton signed the execution warrant on June 25, 1990. Ronald G. Simmons died by lethal injection by his choice on June 25, 1990 at the Cummins Unit in Grady, Arkansas. He was buried in Potter's Field. On December 22, 1987, Ronald G. Simmons began a killing spree that would be the worst mass murders in Arkansas history and the worst crime involving one family in the history of the country. His rampage ended on December 28, 1987, leaving 14 members of immediate family and 2 former co-workers.